Welcome, friends. Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. We got the Monday market report for the week ending July 20, 2025. We are going to dive in to some of the most recent sales on greatcollections.com, most notably anything from the year 1900 all the way up to the modern date. We certainly did scratch the surface on a relatively modern date in this edition of the Monday Market Report, so you don't want to miss that. So anything graded, of course. We're going to check out how the market at large is doing. And we could kind of make the guess and the argument that if the modern market's doing pretty well, then the whole market in general is performing along those same lines. So we're going to take a look here. A rather abbreviated list, and that's more of my doing. We could have loaded this thing up with 25 coins. We did 18 today to kind of keep it a little bit light and quick, just so we could get to the point and talk about some of the favorites here. A lot of good stuff, and I'm happy to say it's not all driven specifically by registry coins. So there's a nice healthy mix of everything in here. Nice obsolete type coins, very investable pieces, along with some varieties as well. Quick little shout out to channel sponsor Whatnot, who I sell with on a weekly basis. They are the number one hottest live social media auction platform today. Get in on the action. We are in the middle of a summer promotional period for Blue Ridge Silverhound, and this all comes to an end really quickly here on July 31st. So I would highly encourage you guys to come check things out. Get in on the action so you can get a few entries into the big giveaway at the end of the month. And it's as easy as scanning that QR code. Scan it today. Get yourself $15 off, courtesy of your boy Blue. But if you're not digging the QR code, the links down below in the description box and pinned to the comment section will do just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the coinage. Now, here's our ultra-modern pick of the week. 2023D Lincoln Shield Cent. This one here, as you would guess, to be one of those registry set coins that is a necessity. And this one ended up showing up here in a Mid-State 68 red, which is a top pop grade for this coin. Something that's a little bit auspicious on this one, I don't know if it's on the plastic encasement or if it's really on the coin, but that little ditty doodad right above the letter T in Liberty on the obverse there. Yeah, I'm kind of triggered by that. I don't know what that is, if that's staining on the plastic or if that's on the coin, but in my humble opinion, if it's on the coin, it should even grade 68. So, but anyways, in any event, this one ended up selling for $2,307.38, a type of money and type of sale that's bucking the trend of what we believe modern coins should be valued at. It's just when you put these two together, the 2023 date along with the price tag, it just seems like it doesn't mix. It's a very oil and water kind of situation here. But with those registry sets, there's a lot of money to be spent. Oftentimes, the people that do participate in registry sets have more money than they know what to do with. Next one coming up here, another date that we don't see nearly as often, but I do like this one here, 1980. Lincoln Memorial Cent making the list here this week in a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus red. Again, another top-end inclusion for registry sets. I kind of like the dirty roller lines on the obverse there. It's not a woody or a wood grainer because they didn't add any tin or zinc on a much more later dated copper planchets. But anyways, yeah, this one is on the list. 67 plus red. It looks like it probably fits that mold just as well. This one ended at $1,743.75 here this week. 1963, another date here that we have seen, as registry set coins go, this thing used to be a whole lot more expensive, but as more of them hit the census in a 67 red, that kind of waters down the overall value of this coin at the top grade. So this one here, it used to be, a $5,000-$6,000 coin 10 years ago. This particular one ended up hammering here this weekend for $2,293.88. One of the biggest coins of the week is actually this 1949D Lincoln Wheat cent. Usually the Denver struck coins of this era are normally very well produced. There's not a whole lot going on here, other than the fact that it is a top of the heap grade. Again, made for a registry set. This one coming in at a blisteringly high 67 plus red. And this one sold for $8,492.62. There are just not a lot of coins graded this high for 49D, which helps kind of support the dollar value in which this one auctioned here this past week. And one of my favorite dates, and the reason why I say that, the 31D can be as crazy as the 31S. The only difference here is that the 31S had a mintage under $1 million, where the 31D was a lot more than that. But here's the caveat to the 31D. This particular date and coin circulated to greater numbers than the 31S. The 31S, everybody saw coming from kind of like a low mintage rarity standpoint. So a lot of them were plucked out of circulation at very high grades. And that's the big reason why that a vast majority of the 31Ss out in the marketplace are going to grade out XF and higher, in that they were scooped up right away. People knew that it was a rarity at that time. The 31D was not. Very few of these were saved in high mid-state grades. This one popped up here on GC this last week in a 66 red out of all grades, and the price tag shockingly comes in at a little bit higher price than a 31S of the same grade at $6,080.62. It's a tale of two coins for the most part here. And 1926, just a nice, very vanilla date is why I call these Philadelphia minted pre-1930s. A very vanilla coin right here. Of course, Mid-State 67 Plus Red is a very attractive offering for a lot of registry sets. This particular one sold for $4,901.62. And the last penny or 1 cent denom coin on the list here this week comes courtesy of a beautiful 1919D Lincoln Wheat with some nice kind of pinkish red toning on the reverse. A very, very fine look to this coin. Nice high grade here in a 66 plus red. And the big winner of the Lincoln cents for the week at $14,062.50. Now we're on to nickels. We have a few nickels here. Again, we're kind of keeping the list a little bit abbreviated here this week. So for the rest of the show and the other denominations, we picked about our best like three coins from nickels, dimes, quarters, and going off of that. So we have, of course, one of the marquee varieties of the Jefferson Nickel series coming in the way of this 43/2. It's a great overdate struck at Philadelphia. This one right here is a PCGS Mid-State 66 with full steps. It's also CAC certified too. There's no denying that this one is a true bomb. You can make the argument that a registry set might need this, but outside of that, it's just a really nice top-end variety. It's a top 5 variety of the nickels for sure. This one ended at $3,038.62. A nice fine price tag on that one. Here's another great variety here, this time in 1938. This one is a D over S, keeping in mind that for the final year of the Buffalo Nickels, they only made these at the Denver Mint. Some were produced in San Francisco, but those particular coins, or rather the dies, before the coins were even struck, were sent to the Denver Mint. So they were repurposed in a way. So they weren't, made useless or gone to waste. This one has a really nice pastel toned ring on the obverse especially. How about Mid-State 67 Plus for this one? Also a CAC certified coin, selling for $2,137.50. Here is quite possibly one of the toughest dates of the Buffalo Nickel series, but you wouldn't know it looking at the date. 1934D is indeed that coin. And it's a huge departure from what we see from 1935, where there are a fair amount of various pieces that you can find at very high grades. However, the 34D is not one of them. The 34 Philly is just as tough, but not nearly as pricey as the 34D that you see here. This one here graded a 66 plus by PCGS, CAC certed as well. $10,181.25 is what this one sold for, and it's ended up going to a new home. It's a coin at this grade level that we just don't see that often, maybe once, twice a year, and that again helps support the value of the coin. Now, a variety of sorts that is one that is heavily favored and heavily collected across all grade levels. The 55 Lincoln double to die obverse is one of them. This one here, the 1918 over 7D. The overdate extraordinaire is another one. This one coming in at a rather pedestrian XF45, but it's also CAC certified as well. Finding one of these, any really with a full readable date where you can see the overdate on there, is a rarity. And that one, this one specifically right here is a nice, well-guarded collector coin. This one ended up selling, by the way, for $9,618.75. It is nobody's waste of time or money to pick this one up because it does have that full readable date, and you can clearly see the over date on that particular piece. A very fine specimen. Sometimes just having a nice high grade specimen of a coin doesn't really give it its true beauty and nature. Coins that have been around the block like this one here, showing its beauty in its own way. Now we got some dimes. Here's another one of these. It's probably the fourth one in about 30 days that we've covered. Another 1982 no mint mark with the strong strike Roosevelt dime. This one, much like the first one that we talked about a few weeks ago, grading at a very attractive 67 plus with full bands. Again, this is the one circulation coin that you could count on to find without the actual Philadelphia mint mark. A lot of the other ones you have to go through proof sets in order to locate. This one right here is sold for $2,137.50. Here's a 58 Philly. Some kind of crazy dates within the Roosevelt dimes here. This one, our first CAC G graded example in a Mid-State 67 full bander, also showing some really nice peripheral toning on both sides of the coin. While not completely out there as far as its eye appeal, this one is quite attractive just for its subtleness. So this one right here is sold for $1,125. If you like more of the mottled kind of toning, this one's showing a lot more of the moss green and gold colors that I am personally attracted to. A really beautiful coin, a very, very well preserved example. CAC G also another one here in this 47D in a Mid-State 68 full bands. Okay, nice high grade on this one, and we're getting to a date range where things are a little bit more meaningful by the grade and the price values match. This one right here ended up selling for $2,306.25. And the big dog of big dogs, when we're kind of associating the best of the best as far as 20th century varieties, okay, the one that we know is very valuable, very well collected, but still kind of like under the radar. And I can't even believe I'm saying under the radar for these. The 1950 D over S and the 1950 S over D, two over MINTMARKs that simply cannot be ignored in today's market. This particular one, a true gem. As a matter of fact, it's probably more of a choice gem, if anything else. 66 plus is a great, awesome grade for this one. And, this one has really shown its value here. A coin that in any grade is worth hundreds of dollars, by the way. This particular example, hammered for $5,077.12. A nice high price tag on this one, and it's not going to change anytime soon. The S over D sells for nearly as much. They kind of go hand in hand here. There's really not one that sells for more than the other because they're just two very important varieties for the Washington Quarter Series. 1930 Standing Liberty Quarter. We got a couple just absolutely stunning, obsolete type coins here. This 1930 is a rather common date, but if you're trying to look for one that will end up graded as a 67 full head, good luck with that. This is, this is a piece that just doesn't show up raw. Most of what you'll find out there are already graded. Probably, within the last 15 years, a lot of these kind of jumped off the market, and then, as time went on, became just true pursuit of happiness level of collectability. Considering that a lot of what we call the class of 1916 coinage, that includes the Mercury dime, the Standing Liberty Quarter, the Walking Liberty half, are all kind of like Hall of Fame caliber pieces because of design. This one right here, by the way, ended up selling for $4,610.25. Again, the price levels are just increasing by the month here. Quite possibly my personal favorite coin. I just wish I had the money to afford something like this. 1921 Standing Liberty Quarter. Man, the overall general look of this coin is right down my alley, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. This type of toning right here is not one for everyone, but me personally, I love the archival look to it, kind of like the browns, magentas, the golds, all of these kind of warm earth tone type colors that give it kind of the archival look to it is something that I'm all about. And this one is in an old holdered NGC Mid-State 66 grade. Just really beautiful, and it's also got a CAC certification as well, as if it really needed it. I'm happy to say this one sold for $7,029. I'm just sad because I'll never find another one like this here in the next year or so. A 1921 Standing Liberty Quarter is an awesome date. It's generally regarded as a much tougher date across the board, across all denominations. I'm just happy to witness this one being sold here this last week. And the final coin in the mix, we had the pleasure of witnessing that 1970D last week in all of its beautiful toned glory. We had yet again another just echelon of toning here. 69D. Keeping in mind these are 40% silver, so even though the silver content's less in these, it's still promoting just beautiful toning, most of which are popping up out of BU rolls. Now, this one right here, I don't think came out of a BU roll because you have a really colorful reverse on it, but the original, earlier dated Kennedys pre-1971 that are silver, are gaining all sorts of recognition, especially with color. And, you could walk the Bourse floor of any coin show or shop, and you could find a few of these that are raw, but the premium that you're going to pay into them is quite stiff. I remember last time I bought something very similar to this, I ended up, coughing up like $250 raw. Not really knowing for certain that it's natural toning. But, if you have any sort of, opportunity to grade these, I would certainly do so. The market has just really taken form here in the last 6 months on these. This one, by the way, ended up selling for $3,272.62. Is a huge price tag for a coin that obviously, by melt value alone is like $3, somewhere around there. So the game has certainly changed, and if you did come across one, that's remarkably similar to this, I would keep that one, grade it, and then flip it hard because the money is just way too good right now. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound, keeping in mind that the info provided in this video today is for educational use only. None of this is financial advice. And that's going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Thank you guys so much for all your views and support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to today's video if you haven't done so already. Keeping in mind that we have about a week remaining in the big summer giveaway event, so come check out Whatnot on my channel, Blue Ridge Silverhound, on that platform, and participate while you can. We're going to have about, I would say, 3 or 4 more shows between now and the end of the month. There'll be a good opportunity to pad your lead with the entries just by making purchases. It's really that easy. So I hope to see you guys real soon. Have a great day. Keep on collecting, my friends, and I will see you soon.